안녕하세요. 좋은 밤. 안녕하세요. 좋은 밤. 소리님 안녕하세요. 어서오세요. 오늘은 미국은 크리스마스 아침인데 방송 한 2~3시간 정도 하고 가족이랑 크리스마스 보내도록 할게요. 일단 제가 빅토리아 아일랜드 가가지고 뉴리프시티 가가지고 본사의 비약 좀 어제부터 사오고 싶긴 했는데 예전부터 어제 방송 종료하고 사오려다가 바로 일보러 나가는 바람에 사지를 못해서 지금 하려고요. 그래서 커닝시티 가서 커닝시티로 간 다음에 전철을 타고 유리프시티로 고고싱. 아 맞다, 이것도 배 타야 되지. 이것도 배 타야 되는 걸 깜빡했네. 따라라 시켜야 되겠다. 어제 저녁 늦게까지 와이프랑 선물 포장하느라 좀 늦게 잤어요. 미국 약간 문화가 크리스마스 선물을 교환할 때 네, 우리만의 가족이 아닌 친척들의 가족, 조카, 그리고 시어머니, 시아버지. 저희 가족은, 저희 어머님의 가족은 여기 살지 않으니까 대부분 와이프 쪽의 가족이랑 많이 보냈는데, 그거 포장하는 것도 장난이 아니더라고요. 엄청 일이에요. 근데 한두 번 하니까 노하우가 생겨서 어느 정도는 이제 속도가 붙으면 괜찮긴 한데, 그래도 워낙 가족이 많다 보니까 돈도 엄청 깨지고, 발차 시각 5분 전부터 표를 받고 있다. 그럼 15분에 갈 수 있는 건가? 스타벅스 진짜 비싸네. 살 수 있나? 14분인데 한번 봅시다. 안 되네. 가자. 노래가 너무 졸리다. 그런 방황이었네. 유리프 시티를 가서 전사의 비약 좀 사오려고요. 빨리 출발합시다, 벨 아저씨. 펫이 없었구나. 펫이 집에 가 있었네. 어쩐지 많이 느리다는 느낌이 받긴 했거든요. 아, 근데 이거 조금만 있으면 그 마법의 물 사야 되네. 마법의 물도 엄청 비싼데. 출발. 아, 여기 의자에 못 앉는다는 게 좀 아쉽다. 그런 거 의자 좀 캐릭터가 의자랑 뭐라고 해야 되지? 하여튼 이 지하철 의자에 앉을 수 있게끔 해놨으면 좀 좋았을 텐데. 그쵸? 사소한 그냥 디테일. 손잡이는 또 왜 이렇게 위에 있는 거예요? 손잡이가 너무 위에 있어. 여기 가서 전사의 비약 사옵시다. 전사의 비약을 사고, 오늘은 여기 아니구나. 숲의 갈림길을 가서 사냥 좀 해볼게요. 많이 비싸긴 하지만 아이고, 또 기다려야 되네. No loose weapons. 이건 읽어지는데 여기 이거 노란색은 뭐라는지 모르겠네. No 뭔데? 이거는 무슨 새인가요? 세로 표시를 새? 참새? No parking? 이렇게 한번 써볼까? No. OBS로 줌을 땡겨도 모르겠네. 이거 드론인가? 저게 뭐야? 땡겨와야 되겠다. No parking 같은데 PARRING? PA parking? 모르겠다. 와우. 와우. No running인가? No running인가? No running일 수도 있겠다. 아, no running인가 진짜? No entry, 들어오지 말아라. 귀엽네요. 이런 것들은 언제 나올지. 여기가 여러분 제가 스포일러 좀 해드리자면 여기가 나중에 고래파케가 나오는 곳입니다. 레벨 120 이상 파티캐스트가 나오는 곳이에요. 저는 한 번도 안 해봤지만 이제 옛날에 다른 분들이 하는 걸 지켜본 적이 있어서 기대되지 않나요? 120 이상 파티캐스트가 나온다고 하니까 좀 기대되는데, 그리고 여기도 길이 또 어디로 열리죠? 그리고 나중에 여긴가? 뭐 여기 어딘가 필드보스가 나오는데 걔가 드롭률이 굉장히 좋았던 걸로 기억하거든요. 근데 메이플랜드에서는 그냥 변경을 해서 출시하지 않을까 합니다. 헌티드 중간에 타지르는 게 물건 교환하는 건 잘 기억이 안 나요. 정말 오래된 건데 타지드라는 NPC 기억이 또 안 나고, 제가 기억하는 것은 여기 굉장히 복잡했던 걸로 기억이 나거든요. 여기 메소기어는 우리가 이미 아는 곳이고, 여기가 거기 그 울프 스파이더 굴 나오는 곳이고, 헌티드 하우스는 아마 여기는 레벨 낮은 몬스터들이 나올 거예요. 근데 이제 이쪽으로 갈수록 여기에 파티캐스트가 있고, 고래 파티캐스트, 그리고 이런 곳들 사냥터에 굉장히 복잡했던 걸로 기억하는데, 맵이 필드보스 하나 빅풋이라고 많은 고래분들이 사냥했던 게 기억이 나요. 드롭 테이블이 워낙 좋아서 언제 나올지 좀 기대. 근데 여기 또 오른쪽으로 보면 길이 열려 있는 거 보니까 나오지 않을까. 근데 아쉽게도 지금은 그냥 울프 스파이더의 굴로만 사용하는 곳이 돼버려서 사람들이 별로 연구하려고 하지도 않고, 맵도 솔직히 약간 품의 느낌 나서 여기 대륙 자체가 한국에 더 오래 살았냐고요? 한국에 이제 나이가 좀 먹으니까 한 반반 정도 산 것 같은데, 미국에서 조금 더 오래 산 것 같아요. 근데 어렸을 때는 한국에 살아가지고 그 한국의 바탕과 뿌리가 좀 깊게 박힌 케이스죠. No wonder you're so Korean is so fluent. Yeah. Yes, I was born and raised in Korea for the first 15, 16 years of my life. And then I came to the States. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to everyone. We did not have a white Christmas. socialize. We had a very gray Christmas. I was hoping it would snow or something, but it's not even that cold outside right now. 45 degrees. Very cloudy. But we did see snow. We saw snow in December. The first day of December we saw snow. But since then, one of those ugly Christmas or ugly winters. Cloudy. Some days it's extremely cold. Some days it's kind of like eh. Yesterday was actually warm. It was almost 60 degrees. This husky just told me sometimes I want to be a bad boy. I want to be a husky that doesn't listen. Oh. Doesn't want to listen today. Listen, bruh. See if he'll respond back if I say I love you. There you go. Look at him smile. Alright, let's go back to Leaf Ray. Oh, you're in Washington State? Oh, I've been to Washington State. Washington State was yeah, it was very rainy. A lot of rain. Have you ever been to Fairchild? I think that was the city's name. There's Fairchild's Air Force Base up there. And that's where I kind of was for a span of time in my military career. But yeah, I remember Washington State. Very rainy, very wet. (25% Mexican, 25% Japanese, and 50% Korean. That's a pretty good, interesting combo. I'm like, we actually did a DNA test, and I came out like 30%, 38%, like basically 50% Korean, 38% English, And then there was like Irish. What else was there? Scottish. You're just waiting for the classic world. Yeah, I can't wait either, man. Hopefully it'll come out here shortly. Maybe I want it to come out during the summertime of next year, but something tells me they're gonna wait till the summer. I had a great Christmas in Australia. Topped around 68 degrees Fahrenheit. No rain though. Instead of boiling hot like it always is other years here. Yeah. You guys are on the southern... It's not southern hemisphere. Or do they call it a hemisphere? Well, anyways, you guys are kind of flipped, right? In the winter, it's a lot more... Well, our winter is your summer. That type of deal. Do I think the Koreans will play the global server when it comes out? I think there will be some Korean people, maybe YouTubers or content creators, that might give it a go. But I think generally people are gonna just check it out and that's that. They're not gonna really go and make it into their main source of Maplestory. They call it Down Under. Yeah, they might need a VPN, but I'm not sure if they'll need like a phone number or anything. Because Korea's a lot more. From my experience, I'm playing GMS and KMS all throughout my life. KMS was always a lot more difficult to access than GMS. You could play GMS in Korea, but a lot of Koreans prefer not to play GMS because their latency is so low. The country is so compact and small that you could be anywhere in the country and still have like 10 ms or less. So when they access overseas, when they go try to play other countries' games, and they have like they're very sensitive to that stuff, you know. So when they try to play a game that's here in the West and they get like 100 plus ping, they're like, no, I don't want to play that. See if I can find the party. (87) 찍으셨네, 프랑크님. 10, 30, 40. 10. Korean food is goated. Yes, it is. I hope we can all get together and become friends on Maplestory Classic. Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I'm probably gonna make a guild with my buddies that are gonna play. So you guys come back and join the stream and want to join the guild and everybody hang out. I'd be willing to even take us on Zakub and Horntail and all that stuff. And I'm not gonna be the type of person to try to force meta. So if you guys want to play like Fire Poison Mage or Ice Lightning Mage or whatever, I'm a huge person I'm a player that likes to have fun, make fun the priority. I'm not about meta or efficiency. So, and I know one of the frustrating things that I experience playing Maplestory is when you get to higher level content, people prioritize efficiency over fun, and the game kind of becomes a job than a game. So I understand why that happens, but I'm not that stressed out about it. I want to prioritize fun. Yes, anybody can join. Gremlin, yes, can I join? I have no friends. Oh, that's sad. But yes, of course, everybody can join. The official Maplestory clients need to support Linux already. I refuse to use Windows. Yeah, Windows, man, I'm telling you, me too. I feel you on that one. I'm not a big fan of Windows. Lately, it's kind of getting annoying. Let me put this down. Oh shoot, the wrong place. Delete that. Did not mean to put that there. I will be playing Archmage or Bishop. Oh, that's cool. I would recommend Archmage if you want to have fun. Bishop if you want to feel more like a support. Bishop, of course. Anyone know if pirates will be a thing on release? I don't think pirates are gonna be there on release. At least I hope not. So they have. Here's what I think about pirates. I love pirates, and I think pirates blend in really well with the other adventurer classes. But if they release pirate too early, then they can't like span out the game, and they have to come up with something else to like bring life back into the game. You know, like we can wait like at least a year or a year and a half until pirate comes in. Let the game come out. There's gonna be updates that are just gonna be bangers, right? Like that we are all used to. Third job advancement, Zakum, Horntail. There's like a linear path, like an update path that it'll take. How they did in OSMS and how they did it in Mapleland. It prolongs the life of Mapleland or Maplestory Classic, and it'll keep people engaged. And it'll put less pressure on the developers to come up with something new to get people interested and whatnot. So I hope, not hope, but I think they're just gonna release the 4 classic classes. I hope they do monthly updates for classes like League of Legends. Yeah, we'll see. And quality of life changes. Bishop was easy leveling and money. Bishop was nice. Bishop was you didn't have to stress too much about making money. You didn't have to worry about funding yourself. They just went where everybody went. 이슬님 안녕하세요. 어서 오세요. In 2007, all I did was check my friend list, group, grind, sleep, and repeat. 2007, I was 14. So yeah, when I was playing back in the day, I think I would come home from school, pop a can of Mountain Dew, sit in front of my computer, and like really just grind my life away until my mom told me to get off and do my homework or do something. I kind of went like, I had this wave where I would spend a lot of time online and then that would kind of like die out and I want to go play outside with my friends from school. 오늘은 외국 분들이 많군요. 어느 날은 이제 한국 분들이 많이 계시고 어느 날들은 이렇게 미국 분들이 오셔서 소통하고 해요. 근데 오늘은 정말 외국인 분들이 많이 오시는 것 같아요. When there's no worries and can play Maplestory all day after school. Those were the days, you know? Hanging out in FM and chatting with people, doing party quests with friends. Those were the times, right? And it was so much better. I think I found party for us. Give me 1 second. Yeah, when life was a lot more simple when we were kids, right? Those were the times. Back in 2007, my internet had very bad congestion, so playing anything online was difficult. But Maplestory was the only game that was manageable. Speaking of bad internet, I remember we had dial-up. You guys remember dial-up? We had dial-up in our house, and while because we were trying to be cheap, internet was expensive, and I had to explain to my parents that, I had to work my magic. I had to essentially tell them why we needed internet without telling them that it was for Maplestory. I had to kind of tell them, hey, we're getting left behind. We can't have dial-up. My friends have what was the internet back in the day? My friends have high-speed internet. When you take a phone call, we can't use the internet. We look poor, Mom. Come on. Let's get better internet. Like it's 2003, Mom. We're in the 2000s. Stop with the dial-up. Like gaslighting her. Eventually they agreed and we got a faster internet, so it worked, I guess. And I was grinding on Maplestory while she was on her phone talking with her ajumas. And the 2007 connection I had, DSL, was worse than dial-up due to the congestion. It was bad. When it comes to the internet speed, Korea is the best. Yep, it's the best. 플랑크님, 채널 옮겨서 숲가래 이미 가 있죠? Korean internet speed is top notch because the gaming culture has been around since the 90s and it's evolved way faster, way sooner, way earlier than here in the States. So they started optimizing internet speed and prioritizing and giving a lot of attention to esports and online gaming way sooner than the West did. We're catching up though, especially with introduction to huge online competitive games like Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, all these things. Our internet speed's catching up. But I think Korea is still way ahead of us. What usually ended up happening was I'd play Maplestory overnight for the best experience, because people in the area would be sleeping. So you played Korean Maplestory from the States, or are you talking about GMS? 여기 일단 자리가 있네요. 자리를 바꿔보도록 할게요. 를 옮겨서 어디 보자. Someone's already grinding here. You see all these yellows, guys, in the midst of greens, and the reds? The reds signify, you remember your channel would be full? So you can't go in these channels. Then yellow is like borderline full, and then green is like relatively empty, like not empty, but it's like probably 90 and below, and each channel right now can hold about 100 people. You do the math. I mean, this is just for Llamo. You have a lot of people playing this game, and in Korea right now it's almost midnight. You played GMS. Yeah, we can start a guild and do PQs and stuff and all that. Wow, every channel has a person. People are solo grinding here. I'm kind of shocked. I need to hurry up and find the party. Find a channel and start a party. You remember bars, not circles. Yeah, it's a little different here. But the idea is essentially the same. And this is just for the continent of Llamo. Right? So they have a separate channel system like this for each continent. For Victoria Island, for Orbis, Ludi, and all that. 플랑크님, 일단 제가 한번 같이 돌면서 빈 채널을 찾아보죠. 근데 사람이 많네, 은근히. 여기서도 솔프를 하시는구나, 사람들이. So if you hold on, if he's here. So basically what that means is 뻥스님 안녕하세요. I think you're confused. So this channel, this says Li, which stands for Llamo. This is just for the continent of Llamo. Now when you go to Ludi, it'll say Lu for Ludi, and it'll be a completely different. It's not so because this game was. It doesn't have its dedicated client. It was made on Maplestory Worlds that we're all familiar with. It's not. It's poorly optimized, let's say. Now it's not as poorly optimized as Artail. Artail is a lot. It's very buggy. I remember Artail just feeling a little off, and I remember feeling the buggy aspects. With Mapleland, there's maybe 10% of what Artail has. But because it's still made on top of Maplestory worlds, it has its flaws, and one of them being is that it's not all concentrated. Like, different continents are essentially different servers, and you have to, the game has, if you're switching channels and if you're switching continents, what it does is it logs you out and it logs you back in, and it takes a little bit of time to go log in and log out. It's not like changing channels is not as smooth. So it says waiting to log into game server, and that's just me changing channels. They're working on that. They're working on a Mapleland 2.0 where they're going to make sure that gets changed and it's all in a concentrated single server, and that's going to be really nice for people like me. You just saw Pikachu. Okay. Yeah, that's in Mapleland, what's cool is that people get creative on how they dress up their characters, right? They have this, you have your conventional cash items. You have your conventional cash items like this, you know, the invisibility hat, the invisibility glasses, and all that. And then a lot of these clothing, like the black suit and the black suit pants, these are in the dress shoes. Those are all clothing items that you can buy in the cash shop that you guys remember. But you can also go into Maplestory worlds and they have a whole different type of stuff that's there that you can integrate into Mapleland from Maplestory worlds. All you have to do is buy like some sort of a ring, and you can dress your character. I've seen Naruto, I've seen Sasuke, I've seen One Punch Man, I've seen all sorts of people that watch anime dress up their characters in Maplestory worlds and bring that avatar into the game. Some are really, really ridiculous. You know, like people will play Ice Lightning Mage and they'll dress themselves up as Pikachu, and they look like they're just going around using Thunderbolt and, you know, Lightning Strike or whatever. It's kind of funny and cool at the same time, but some of them can be too much. Some of them are just like, I've seen Pepe the Frog. Really pretty crazy. It's fun. Keeps the game fun. I mean, people are just expressing themselves online, and I think it's kind of cool. But some of them are like super, super big. It takes up a lot of the screen and kind of like ridiculous how. All right, let me see. Guy. 이거 몇 회죠? 허밋님한테 기술 보내봐야 되겠다. Most weird one I saw on Artail was, yeah, this guy with the day. Okay, yeah, so Artail has it too, right? The same thing. Just trolling people in beginner zone. Yo, that's crazy. That's actually hilarious. People, I'm telling you, people get creative. People do, you know, people just want to have fun online. Kind of funny. Blood snowboard. Later on in the future, these will sell for a decent amount of money. So I'll keep these. Okay. Just messaging people now to see if they'll come and party with us. We're trying to do at least 2 hours here today on killing these sheeps with my buddy here, Fling Flank. 아이고. By the way, were those Maple Gears limited time event drops? They were permanent, so if you participated in the event, they are a permanent drop. Or a permanent item that we got from the event. If you missed the event, unfortunately, you don't, you know, people missed it. We have to find someone who can do first floor for us, because usually on the first floor we'll have a bowmaster or a night lord that comes and clears the first floor of these duelbergs who have these guys have incredible loot table. They drop ilbies, and they also drop a level 100 spear that drops for a lot of mesos, tens of millions. Ilbies itself is like 70 mil. The spear, if it drops with just normal attack, it'll be like 24 mil, 22 mil. If it drops with above average attack, so like maybe +1 or +2 higher than the normal attack, those can go for like 50, 60, a crazy amount of money. So we need to find someone who's willing to come and party with us, because I messaged someone saying, hey, you want to come? And he's like, well, do you have a first floor? And I said, no, we don't have a first floor high level yet. We're looking. And he's like, oh, maybe next time. Maybe he doesn't have the time. I found two people, so we'll see. Now, I think I found the third floor, an hermit and a ranger. So we're gonna add those two people into the party. And then now we just gotta find... We gotta find a second floor on the... I will be doing the second floor right side over here. We need to find someone who's willing to do the second floor left side, and a bowmaster to be on the first floor. I think the bowmaster is gonna be a hard find. Gomi. Okay, we got 2 more people in the party. They're kind of low. We really need a high level bowmaster to make this work. Let's see here. Oh, I need this guy, please. Lately, Discord has been asking me if I'm a human. I guess I'm a human. We're trying to verify. I need to talk to people. Let me do this. We have a 83 Hermit and an 85 Ranger. 83 Hermit. 5. Write this down. Oh no, this might be tough. Can we find a bowmaster? I don't know if we can. Usually it's the bowmasters or high level players that recruit the lower level players into the party, but we kind of did it the opposite way, where me and Mr. Flink Flank got in a party and we're looking for the bowmaster, which is a little bit harder because the norm, the cultural norm is that they form a party and they advertise that they're looking for people flock to them. But we're kind of doing it the counterculture way. I'll keep looking. 조니님 공코 몇인가요? 공코는 3인가? 그거밖에 안 돼요. 정말 운이 없게도 안 붙어가지고 크리스마스 이벤트 때 그 받은 공코를 다 발랐는데 4연속인가? 5연속 터져가지고 아쉽게도 공코는 전에 만들어 놓은 팀 103 이제 천천히 다시 모아야죠. 정말 헉입니다. 확률이 4번인가 5번 연속으로 터졌는데 그 확률이 정말 낮을 텐데 그 정도로 터졌다는 게 저도 터지면서 믿겨지지가 않았어요. Okay, now we're just looking for a first floor. We got our second platform on the left. Now we just need to find someone who's willing to do the first floor. A bowmaster. That's gonna be a challenge though. Let's see. 찾은 것 같은데? 찾았다. Look at all these players. We're all getting together to put in an hour and party grind together. Look at all these different personalities, different identities coming together. You know, this is exciting. Crusader. Oh my god, I love the Crusader sword. Doesn't that look so cool? That's not a... That's not this. That's a level 70 weapon. See what the bowmaster's... Bubbly. Ok. 잠시만요. I'll be right back. Oh, we got everybody. Now everybody has to pay the priest. So usually how most of party training works in Mapleland is that the priest gets paid a certain amount of money. It's not too much. Not too much money, It's to essentially kind of pay the priest for his effort for providing holy symbol, also giving heal to the players who need it, most likely warriors. Rangers and hermits, because of their kit, they can work around not getting hit or taking damage as much. Rangers have Hawkeye, Rangers have Arrow Boom, and they can micromanage the little space that they have to make it work. Hermits have great mobility, best mobility in game, probably aside from Shadowers. So they can also micromanage and not take as much damage and stay relatively healthy. Now the same thing can't be said for the warriors, who have to, just due to their identity, they have to get up and personal and fight the mobs. So the priest kind of offers heal for the warriors and such. 플랑크님 감사합니다. 무료로 해주셔서 고마워요. Let me turn my VPN. So this is how we kind of divvy up the platforms. The warriors take the second floor with the priest kind of hanging out and giving us heal, keep us healthy. And then up at the top you have the damage dealers, who are lower level, but they're still, they're still able to hang because they do a lot of damage. But in earlier phases of their third job advancements, like level 80 to even maybe until level 120, Dragon Knights probably out damage, out DPS all of them up there. Dragon Knights are an exceptional class, especially in third job advancement. They shine. This is like one of the times, I feel like every class has a moment, I guess, a highlighted moment when it comes to damage. Right, when we're looking at damage, and Dragon Knights are probably the strongest characters, all the way up to about 120. I'm trying to think if there's any other class that can out DPS a Dragon Knight, and I don't think there is. I think Dragon Knights are probably the strongest. But they're able to still hang in there, and these two, they're friends. The two ladies that are up there, I'm pretty sure they're men in real life, but the two lady characters that are up there, they came together as a party, as a group, as friends. And I was semi-worried because I'm level 107, and I can push these, I can kill the sheeps relatively fast. Like, I'll kill them in 2 to 3 hits. But usually, when you're a lower level DPS like that, you're not able to kill the sheeps as fast, and what happens is the regen is actually faster than you able to kill the sheep, than the time it takes for you to kill the sheep. So the regeneration of the mobs keeps stacking, and it gets overwhelming, especially for the rangers to able to kill the mobs in that small platform. And they start bow whacking. It happened to me in a party before to a level 82 ranger, and I had to go up there and manage and help him out on his platform to kill the sheeps. But it looks like they're doing fine right now. Both of them are doing really high damage. I mean, I see the hermit critting with critting for 5,000 to 6,000 damage. Which is really a lot of damage he's doing right now, and it's huge. It's huge. Huge part of that is because we have a Sharp Eyes 20 in the party, and he's buffing the party with his Sharp Eyes, And sharp eyes works really well with it significantly boosts the damage output by hermits and rangers. Even for me, so when I crit, you can see that I'm hitting for 8,000, 9,000. The more damage vertically, vertically that you do, the more times you hit an enemy with a single attack, the higher chance of you proccing that sharp eyes buff. So Dragon Knights are really good with sharp eyes. Crusaders not so much because they're single target. On top of that, their attacks are one lines, single hitters. So it's not as good, but you know, it still helps out everyone. Ex-bowman is called sniper in the 4th job advancement, and marksman in the 2nd job advancement. What are they called in the third job no, marksman is their 3rd job advancement, and crossbowman is called their 2nd job advancement. Yeah, something like that. 나도 퀘스트 매니 아껴야지. 여기서는 데미지가 그렇게 필요하지 않아서. 루돌프 끼면은 뭐 데미지 펌핑이 조금 되는데, 여기서는 데미지를 그렇게 크게 신경 쓸 필요가 없어가지고 그냥 퀘스트 매니아 끼는 걸로. Worth to play again, or is it still pay to play game? This is not retail Maplestory. This game is called Mapleland. That is only available to players that live in Korea, or you use a VPN and have someone that live in Korea that can lend you their social security number plus their phone number to get you authenticated. It's a hassle. most people want to play this game in the West, but they can't because of such stringent restriction that it has to for you to be able to log in. But no, this game is not pay to win. This game has no paying element. I've spent $0, 0 won in this game, and I'm having a blast. It's a remake of old school Maplestory and how that game used to play, and it's essentially a different game from the current retail Maplestory. It's more party centric. It's more of a social game than anything. I've made a lot of friends along the way, and those are the core elements that this game has that retail Maplestory doesn't. And it's also fun. It's a slower paced. It's more grind heavy, but you know, it's enjoyable. It's not as stimulating or dopamine releasing as current Maplestory, but at the same time, on the same side of that coin, is that it's very relaxing. It feels more like you're logging in to relax than to like have a rush of endorphins or dopamine run through your system. Maplestory Classic is coming out to NA in 2026, so you can look out for that. If this game style, if this type of gameplay and this style of gameplay is interesting to you and you're intrigued, you should check out Maplestory Classic. That's coming out to NA in 2026. A lot of people that have good memories and have lived that and have played old school Maplestory are going to flock to Maplestory Classic, and they have high hopes that it'll play almost like this game, if not the same. So hopefully the developers can meet that demand, keep true to what Maplestory actually is or was, not make another cash grab. Nobody wants that anymore, right? There's too many online games that are blatantly going for your wallet. Diablo is one of them. Maplestory is one of them. A lot of mobile games are also like that too, so. And I don't think anybody wants that anymore. 정오밖에 안 나오네. 아, 이거 하급이구나. 하급 아쉽네. Music is very quiet. Oh my goodness. Change the music. Like extremely quiet. 아, 팬이시네. 안녕하십니까. 시청자분이신가 보다. 이렇게 시청자분들이 오실 때마다 정말 마음이 따뜻하고 좋네요. 크리스마스인데 시청자분들이 오셔서 이렇게 조금이라도 영상 잘 보고 있다고 하면 제작할 때도 이제 마음 좋게 할 수 있고, 그래도 나를 지켜보는 분들이 확실히 있긴 있구나라는, 많은 분들이 보시는구나라는 생각이 들면서 좋은 것 같아요. 감사합니다. 좋게 봐주셔서. 제가 편집 능력이 그렇게 대단하지 않아가지고 장비도 좋지 않고 아직 방송하면서 부족한 게 많은데, 부족한 점 다 좋게 봐주셔서 정말 좋네요. I am from the C region. Still remember the highest level was 100 in the leaderboard during my time. Oh wow, yeah, you're an old timer. Well, if you are looking for games that are a lot more slower pace, that feels meaningful and purposeful, and you don't have to you don't get this sense that you can purchase your way through the game, then I would recommend you try out Maplestory Classic when it comes out. I think you'll really enjoy it if you kind of are burnt out from the current games in the current gaming industry, especially mobile games and stuff, and even the MMO market right now in the PC realm. They all just feels very dull, and it doesn't feel like an MMO. It just feels like you see other people running around maybe, but that's about the maximum socialization that happens. You don't even know if it's an AI or not. If you are craving a sense of community, and if you want to feel like you belong somewhere, I recommend playing Maplestory. It doesn't have to be for people that are craving that. I have a family at home, and I'm not lonely by any means. I'm not like in a rut or anything like that, but it's still nice to play a game where a sense of community is strong. Have you played StarCraft? I have. I'm Korean, of course I've played StarCraft. Every Korean has played StarCraft. You ask a Korean, hey, have you played StarCraft? And they say no. They're either lying or, you know, they're probably Korean Americans. And they were born and raised in America. But even then, their parents must have played StarCraft, and they must have introduced it to their kid. You know, I'm semi-joking here, but a lot of Koreans have played StarCraft. I think the newer generations that are coming up that were born maybe after 2015, 2016, so kids that are like 10, 9, 11 now, I'm sure some of them have not played StarCraft because it's such a dated game. But generally, StarCraft is it's like a huge part of the culture in Korea. So a lot of people have touched or experienced StarCraft at least one time. Turn the music up a little bit. Sort of looks like League. No, it's a completely different game. But I could see, as someone who's not a gamer, I could see why you would think it looks kind of like League. It's a bird's eye view game, controlling like you see a bunch of units. You're not just controlling a single character like this. In League, it looks like you have it looks like there's a lot going on with minions coming out, other players in there, bird's eye view. StarCraft is the same thing, bird's eye view. You have a bunch of things, bunch of units running around everywhere. But it's very different. It's a very different game. It's like comparing chess to Uno. StarCraft is it's almost like a sport. StarCraft, when you play a game of StarCraft and you're playing against someone that's at your level or better, you're gonna break a sweat in that 30 minutes or an hour of gameplay. Very, very, you have to lock in. Intense. It's like 30 minutes of doing planks with your brain. I'm sure people, I bet you, like StarCraft players, as they grow older, I guarantee you they probably don't get Alzheimer's or dementia. Because the amount of brain power that you need to have to play StarCraft is actually insane. If you want to play at a top tier level, not even top tier, at a normal level in Korea. 감사합니다. 핸섬하시다고 해주셔서 감사합니다. Maybe I should play StarCraft? No, I'll pass. It's too stressful. It's not that it's too stressful. I've already accumulated an audience here in Maplestory, and I'd rather play StarCraft off stream. There's so many things to do in Maplestory that that I don't really need to explore anything outside of it. Once I get decent amount of audience and people, I'll ask people to come with me to go do other things in Maplestory. But in order for me to do that, I also have to be, I have to level up a little bit more. I'm not gonna get Alzheimer's. I have to deal with my wife, and she makes me use my brain too much. And I'm not gonna get Alzheimer's. It's like a toxic love thing, you know? Like, my wife makes me think. My wife makes me stressed. So, you know, you get Alzheimer's when you completely turn off your brain. And I think I read a study, if you want to combat Alzheimer's, you have to be engaged and you have to use your brain. You have to use your brain. You have to practice. You have to put in the work to use your brain. So like things like word puzzles, chess, or a stressful wife can prevent Alzheimer's. You know? So I don't think I'm gonna get Alzheimer's because I definitely have one of those three. A joke, by the way. I'm clearly joking. I do want to get a better camera sooner or later. I think my mic is fine for now. But once my channel grows a little bit, I think the first thing I want to invest in would be a camera. Would be a nice camera so my face doesn't look pixelated and it looks clear. I would like for it to sit right in front of me instead of at this angle. Or even if it's at this angle to the side, I want to get a decent camera because I've noticed when I'm editing videos, I take these live streams and I take it to CapCut and I'm editing the videos, and I noticed that my face is very pixelated and it just doesn't look professional. It doesn't look crisp. So maybe one day I'll get a better camera. This is a camera from my phone, my iPhone from, oh my god, like 5 years ago. That doesn't even have service, but I'm able to use the camera with iTunes and plug it into my computer and use the camera with like a plug-in through OBS. It's like I had to go through multiple steps and really kind of like do some YouTube learning and semi computer engineering to get this thing hooked up. But it's what I had. It's what I have at the time. So you know, you gotta use what you have. You know, you gotta be resourceful. I didn't want to drop a lot of money into something that I didn't know if it was gonna go anywhere. But my channel has been doing okay. I have people coming in, hanging out, and my subscriber counts are going up, and I think a lot of people enjoy my content, and people like what I'm doing and how I take my time to elaborate and share my opinions and thoughts, and there's some deep well of knowledge and wisdom there from playing this game for too long of a time. But I am very passionate about this game. The game is fun, but it's basically my childhood, you know, and who doesn't want to hold on to their childhood memories of that, you know, anything that resonates with them and makes them have this nostalgia trip. of their childhood. Who doesn't want to hold on to that, right? Like for me, it's this. For some other people, it's I don't know, what could it be? For some other people, it could be a dirt bike. For some other people, it could be tennis, whatever it is. But for me, it's Maplestory. So I've tried many things in my life, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life. And I've done many things. But one thing I've learned, and it's a very cliche thing to say, I understand that, but it's very true. You have to do something that you love. And I'm doing something that I love, and the editing process, it's a trial and error, and I'm learning. But it doesn't feel too stressful, especially when I know that I'm having fun with it. It's something that resonates with me. And then also people comment back saying they appreciate what I'm doing. Me pushing out the content to let the Western audience become aware of how the game could be played, especially since Classic Maplestory is coming out. You know, I want people to play this game together as a party like we're doing now. This party is a little bit more quiet and a little bit more reserved. It's not always that people will be chatting it up and talking, but then if it's not someone else, it could be me. But most of the time, because I'm live streaming and I'm talking with my viewers, I tend to not chat in game. But I've seen people chat it up and talk about movies, talk about what their favorite drink is, just anything. Things that you would have a conversation about in real life. And like I said, once you understand that this is a video game that focuses on socializing and getting to know people and making friends and having the companionship and having company with strangers, and it's not stressful, it's not anxiety inducing, where when you meet a stranger in real life, at first it can be awkward and it's work, right? Like we can all agree that when we meet a stranger in our 30s, it can be overwhelming because there's so many things that you don't know about that person. You don't know their level of sensitivity. You don't know anything. I mean, let's be real. You don't even know what their political affiliation is, and those things are all important. And it almost feels like if you want to become friends with that person, you have to censor yourself a little bit for the first, I don't know, at least a week, and until you get to know them a little bit. And all of that doesn't exist in this game. You know, nobody's talking about politics here. Nobody's talking about anything too sensitive here. It's just, it kind of comes naturally when people talk. Some people don't want to chat with you. That's fine. You know, that simulates reality perfectly. Some people, you approach them, they're just like kind of off-putting. They don't want you around, or they don't give this inviting vibe like other people do. I was in a party with a cleric one time, and man, he was just chatting it up, making jokes, and some people in the party were telling him to, hey, just focus on party grinding, but then you had select few who are bouncing off and making jokes with him. That's just like how it is in the real world. You go to a party, some people are gonna, shun you off. They don't like your vibe or whatever it is. They're like, okay, go away. But then you meet someone who kind of fits and who's kind of on the same frequency as you, and you start vibing with that person and getting along with that person, you eventually become friends. Me and Mr. Flink Flank here have been party grinding for a while now, and I think, I like being in a party with him because he's not too overwhelming, he's not overburdening, he's kind of just there. And when we chat, there's like this level of frequency that we resonate on, where when we chat, we're having a good time, but it's not all the time. Like, our presence is there and I never feel lonely. But there's people that can be a little bit overwhelming, and it's like everybody has, you know that saying, there's somebody for everybody. What is it? What is the saying? How does it go? There's somebody out there for everybody, something like that. And not only does that apply to relationships, that also applies to friendship as well. When you meet someone, that person, either you're gonna have a lot of things in common with that person, or that it's gonna be a good mix of personality with that person or not. I personally don't get along with hyper meta chasers and people that are rude, kind of what is it, like rough, even if they're joking. I think I got to a certain age where I just don't find that funny anymore. And for me, respect is a huge thing. And light jokes, I can make light jokes, but it's not that like I'll tell them to go away or anything. I'll be friendly and respectful, but am I going to come around and like purposefully with intent trying to escalate our friendship to the next level? Probably not. We'll just be acquaintances, and I'm okay with that. But I like people that are more laid back, easygoing, and people that kind of really are just chill. But there's people definitely in this game that are hyper meta chasers, and they worry about efficiency. They worry about making sure that they get the most of their time, and if they're not getting that, they become a little bit they speak their mind, like, hey, you're not doing enough damage on the third platform. I think your regen is kind of being slow. I think you're killing a little bit slow, and they just make you feel uncomfortable. But what they're actually saying is, I want to be efficient, and that's what I like. I want to make friends with people that are well funded, that are up to my standard, and see the same, basically prioritize the same things that I do. And those people are not my type of people, and they'll find their own people though, because I see those people a lot, and they'll find each other and they'll become friends, and they can have their own social circle and make a party. So it's nothing against them, because at the end of the day, there's no right way to enjoy a video game. And if they want to enjoy a video game by being hyper efficient and being the meta, then that's what they can do. They can find people that are chasing the same things or prioritize the same thing. That's the beauty of this game, right? That's the beauty of being around people and humanity itself at a greater in the greater picture, in the bigger picture. So I think this game, for that reason, and when I make videos, I say, why do we play Maplestory? We have to first ask the bigger question of what made Maplestory so fun. And it's not, we can't really focus on damage or anything specific. It was fun because it was imperfect. It was fun because it was broad, and it simulated reality. And it simulated a community that we can see in the real world. People have cliques. And even if you have cliques, you have to go to school to be in a group setting. You have to go to a party to meet people. And that's what it felt like back in the day. It simulated reality in a perfect way. And in those settings, you always have weirdos. You always have people that are assholes. And then you have people that are nerds. You have people that are this and that, all sorts of people. And now they took that aspect away from the game. And it's essentially just a solo player, grind fest, damage pudding, all about bossing. And that's not what makes old school Maplestory so memorable for people. People don't romanticize the Zack raid, a 30-man, people don't romanticize a 6-man Zack raid. If they romanticize Zack raid, it's because there was a sense of community that they did it together to overcome a hardship. But that's only a small speck of what people romanticize when they think about old school Maplestory. people romanticize and people have a nostalgia trip because it felt like a sense of community. It felt like a place where everybody went to hang out. You could find something to do. You could find a place where you belonged. And yeah, Maple had a weird addictive drug back in the day. Oh, I'll tell you what, man, it's not even back in the day. This game right now, right? This Mapleland, when I'm playing it, it doesn't feel like, it's not anything crazy. I just log in and I'm party grinding. And most of the time I don't get loot. Most of the time there isn't a dopamine rush or anything like that. But when I log off, I want to come back to play again. And we really need to sit down and think and analyze why that is. Why is it that some games like League of Legends and modern Maplestory have all these elements to trigger a dopamine and like a hit of a rush when you beat a boss, or when you perfect a combo, or when you get all these crazy drops that come out of the boss? All the elements for addiction is there, but why is it not addictive? Why is it that I can come into a game like this and essentially kill sheeps or whatever monsters that I'm killing without any loot, without anything fancy? But why do I still want to come back and be in this world and play this game? Well, it's probably, in my opinion, it's because there's a strong sense of community here. You know? And when I come in, I see people everywhere. And, you know, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of lonely people in this world. There's a lot of people that are wanting to be part of a community and want to have friends. And most games nowadays, they don't offer that. They're just really, they feel like a casino slot machine at a casino. That's what it feels like. There's no sense of community in any of it. I mean, of course, there's like huge elements to the game that we haven't talked about, which is the beautiful music, the illustration, the adorable, childlike monsters that makes you feel like you're in a fantasy world. You know, it's not too heavy on the eyes. A lot of monsters are adorable. They're recognizable. The numbers are readable. A sense of progression is real. You know, there's so many things that come together to create this masterpiece of a game that keeps calling you back. That keeps telling you to come back. And the sense of addiction doesn't come from dopamine releases and the rush that most developers try to do to get players to get hooked into their game. But how lasting is that? You know, I don't think it's. I think most people will wake up and be like, hey, what am I, you know, why am I playing Maplestory right now as a level 290 and I've put hundreds of dollars into this game just to play by myself? It's honestly depression triggering, like depression inducing. You know what? You know how I know that? Because I've had moments in my life where I was in that boat. I was playing a game, I didn't have a family. I didn't have my wife, I didn't have kids, I didn't have my family here. All my family was in Korea. This was post me leaving the military, and I had no job, I had nothing. But what I did was I played League of Legends, and I played another MMO. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was Mabinogi or something. And honestly, it just felt terrible. I'm gonna be honest with you. The gameplay, none of that mattered. At the end of the day, it felt like a momentary thing. And even you could say, oh well, Mapleland and classic Maplestory is momentary too. Well, at least they do a good job of making it feel like there's a strong sense of community here that's going to be there with you and that are doing the same thing with you together. You know, and in modern Maplestory, I'm sure the user count, concurrent active players are high, but how many opportunities do you get to really interact with one another? How many times do you just log into Maplestory, the modern Maplestory, and you just do the dailies and weeklies like a robot, and then you go do your bossing, and you don't even get a glimpse of humanity in that game? Almost feels like you're on a treadmill just running by yourself. At least in Mapleland, I'm running on the treadmill with other people all the time, and I get to see specks of humanity all the time. Look at this guy with a mustache with a white wig. You think you're gonna see that? Like, that's an aspect of humanity. It's just quirkiness. It shows off this guy's personality, what he's about. Look at my buddy here. He looks like the Saja boys from K-pop Demon Hunters. You know, everybody has something to bring to make you feel less lonely. There's an aspect of humanity all around this game, from people using megaphones to argue with one another, you know, and there's people in higher level maps that are having guild wars and having disputes, and it feels very real. You know, you can really feel the sense of humanity and community in this game that people are longing for, and I think that's what keeps that's what keeps the player base alive and keeps the players here. Because once they turn off the game, you know, as depressing as this sounds, some people just are sitting there with nobody to interact with. And maybe maybe you have a family, but you have to go back to work. But in this game, you know, it's like a moment of relaxation. You can really relax and have a chat with your buddy while you are doing something that doesn't require too much of you. Is this game a private server or official? This game is called Mapleland. It's a Korean Maple server in the Korean Maple Worlds client. And I know maybe, like, if you're not familiar, all of that sounds pretty confusing. Just to break it down, basically this is an official server in Korea run by, well, they're about to partner with Nexon and create its own launcher because it's doing really well. Ooh, I gotta be careful with my coffee. Almost spilled that. 오늘은 화질이 더 선명해 보인다. 내가 어제 방송 종료하고 필터링을 조금 설정을 해서 그 뿌얀 느낌을 없애고 색감이 조금 더 드러나게끔 설정을 바꿨어요. 제가. 이게 더 보기 좋은가요? 눈에 약간 피로도를 높여주지 않나? 너무 색이 밝아가지고. 이게 더 보기 좋다. 그래요? 각 개인마다 다르겠지만, 저도 원래 그 뿌옇게 해놓은 게 어제도 제가 설명드렸는데, 한국 시간에는 주무시는 분들이 많아가지고, 늦은 밤이라 일부러 뿌옇게 해놨던 건데, 요즘은 외국인 분들도 많이 오시고 해서, 한 색감을 다시 원본으로 돌려놓은 다음에 조금 이제 그 카메라가 튀게끔 밝기를 낮춘 거거든요. 밝기하고 색감을 약간 올린 건데, 오늘은 불화둥 안 가시나요? 불화둥은 적자가 심하고, 그리고 조금만 더 덱스를 올린 다음에 가야 할 것 같아요. 아직까진 많이 약해서. 불화둥을 가려면 베리트 스피어를 껴야 되는데, 베리트 스피어를 끼게 되면 블루 아이번이 5방에서 6방 컷 정도 나거든요. 무리한 것 같기도 하고 다른 분들한테 앵컷이 잘 안 날 때도 있어서, 어제 한번 경험해봤으니까 여기서 조금 더 사냥하면서 돈 벌고 천천히 하려고요. 즐기면서. 매업이 안 들어왔네. 감사합니다. 빨리 다크나이트 찍겠습니다. Merry Christmas. Everybody has a wonderful Christmas. Was Dark Knight my main class back in the day? No. Uh, I played Dark Knight. I played Dragon Knight up to about level 87. I've also played Shadower up to 134. I've played a Sniper. I don't know if I played a Bow. If I personally raised a Bowmaster, or if I just had like an opportunity to play someone else's Bowmaster. But I've also remember playing Bowmaster. Then I jumped around a lot. I played a Hunter for a little bit, but I don't think I ever got to a Ranger. I have a lot of experience with different classes. I think there's a couple of classes that I never touched because it just didn't resonate with me, which was mages. I'd never really enjoyed playing mages, but now that I'm getting older, I don't know, I think Ice Lightning looks a little fun. And even Fire Poison, like the idea of solo grinding doesn't turn me off too much. I think I might enjoy it actually. Sounds peaceful in a way. Dragon Knights, I played, the Shadow War was really fun. You're kind of leaning towards Archer and Bowmaster. Hey, those Bowmasters are always a good pick. So, you know, you're gonna enjoy playing Bowmaster and have fun playing it. You're gonna be very viable for everything except for solo playing. You're not gonna be able to solo grind that well. But outside of that, you know, you're gonna be very welcomed in parties. You're gonna be very welcomed in bossing for your sharp eyes. So Bowmasters are always a I want to be helpful to my guildmates and friends for parties. Bowmasters, I will tell you what your role will be as a Bowmaster. You're gonna feel an identity and you're gonna contribute with one of the best damages in game and one of the best buffs in game. Now, one thing about Bowmasters is that they can become kind of boring in 4th job advancement because you're using only one skill and you're essentially going to be, but you're going to be needed everywhere. You're going to be needed everywhere. Night Lords and Bowmasters are best friends, just like how Dragon Knights and Priests are best friends. Night Lords can outdamage a Bowmaster only if Bowmaster gives them a sharp eyes. If Night Lords don't have sharp eyes, the sharp eyes buff from the Bowmaster, they're not going to be able to out DPS a Bowmaster. But usually they're in the same party and they grind together, so Night Lord and Bowmasters are a really good yin and yang type of combo. They balance each other out. They're good for each other. So if you want to have the sense of pride, a sense of identity that you are the guild's best DPS, or people need to take you and form a party around you, because let's be honest, damage is the #1 priority. Although it's not the most, it's not the only thing that's needed. And the beauty of that is that damage dealers can't do things alone. They need to have supporting classes or sub DPS classes like a Shadower or like a hero, a Dragon Knight, all these classes that do damage slightly less than the Night Lord and Bowmasters, they need these classes to go to boss raids with them. But if you want to have that identity of, okay, I'm my guild's top DPS and they need me, you know, and they, you know, people are going to look at me and say, oh yeah, we need to take him because he has great DPS and he has sharp eyes, I will go with the Bowmaster. If you want to be more of a niche guy and say, well, I want to have more flexibility in my playstyle, I want to play an Archmage because I want to have the ability to solo farm efficiently, and it doesn't cost a lot of money for me to play a character. Then Archmages are nice because they're not very you don't need to fund them to effectively use that class for what it needs to fulfill its purpose, even in a party setting. Solo grinding, you're gonna do well, even if you're lowly funded. In a raid like Zakum and Horntail, you're still gonna fulfill your purpose, because most of the time you're not there to do top DPS. You're there to kind of fill in the spot where you're clearing out mobs efficiently with chain lightning. So it really depends on what identity you want to resonate with, plus what character looks cool and fun to you. So you have to think about all those things and kind of come to a decision. But like I said, at the end of the day, you should just play what you want to play. After looking up, you should do a quick, like, brief class highlight, or just kind of see what they look like on YouTube and kind of come to a decision that way. Because instead of worrying about late game 120 plus, you have to first find that character fun. Reaching level 70 is gonna be a grind. Reaching level 50, 70 is gonna feel like a grind at first. That's the first hurdle you'll face when you hit level 50 and you get to level 50, and then you're trying to get to 70 towards the third job advancement. It's gonna feel like a grind. And after you hit 70, another level of grind begins all the way up to 120. So we can sit here and talk about, you know, fourth job 120 level plus and onward, but it's important that you kind of find the playstyle that you can enjoy the game first, all the way up to level 70. Because once you hit level 70, a lot of things open up. A whole different playstyle open up for a lot of classes. That's when I believe the true fun begins, is the third job advancement. So you got to find something that you are not gonna quit the game on in the first 70 levels. Party quests used to be good and made the leveling easier for sure. Party quests, you'll have kerning party quests from level 21 to 30, which will, you know, you can go back and forth from grinding together in a party at Anthill. And if you get tired of that, just go to Kerning City and do some party quests, earn some nice rewards. And then once you hit 30, there's a lot of different different type of things you can do in that range from 30 to 50. You have the Monster Carnival. That's if they release it right away. And then you have the Looty Party Quest, which is also fun. You get in a group of 6 people, solve puzzles and yada yada yada. Kill the boss at the end for a reward. Extremely fun. but from 50 to 70, there isn't much content other than Orbis Party Quest. An Orbis Party Quest is okay. It takes longer than the other party quests, and a lot of people, it's more complex. One of the most complex party quests in the game, so a lot of people are going to struggle, and it might take a long time for people to, because there's going to be a steep learning curve. And you could do it. I think you can do it together with your friends and guild members and earn good experience points. There's also a boss at the end of that party quest too. Something you can enjoy. And then from 70 to 85, there's Romeo and Juliet party quest, which is one of my favorites. That party quest, you only need 4 people. That can get you up to level 85. And like I said, in the midst of doing party quest, what I did was I went back and forth from party grinding with people to party questing to solo grinding. I did all of that, and it made the leveling process a lot more bearable. It was a lot more bearable because I kept switching it up every so often to do new things. And then from 85, it's been a straight, like, there's no party quests, there's no content that you can do other than party grind. So I party grinded at different places with people. I went to the sheeps that you saw can start from 85. You can also go to a dragon roar party if you're a dragon knight with dragon roar. There's other places that you can go. Some people go to Thailand, the continent Thailand, and it's very popular there too, where people party grind. Ludi Maze Party Quest. The LMPQ, I'm not sure if that will exist. It might. We'll see. But I'm not sure if that, because that doesn't exist in KMS, so we'll see if that comes out. Can't find our last member. Wasn't Romeo and Juliet party quest in Harry Potter Town? Is it a Harry Potter town? I don't think I wouldn't call that a Harry Potter town. Why would you call it a Harry Potter town? I'm trying to see what the resemblance is of Harry Potter. Maybe like there's secret doors and underground pathways, and Harry Potter has, secret passages in the building and stuff. But no, Romeo and Juliet is in a party called Magatia. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but in Korean it's called Magatia. And it's a town where there's like a battle between AI robots and an alchemist. So there's 2 factions. One of the faction is studying alchemy, trying to create these weird biomatter monsters for longevity in life. And then the other faction is all about AI and robots. They're trying to create cyborgs for humans to live longer. And those 2 factions are at war, and not at war, but there's like political instability, and you're kind of in the middle. Like if you go through the quest line, that's what it is. And you have to kill like a Frankenstein boss monster towards the end in the party quest there. Really fun. I like that area. If you look into like the lore of each continent, it's very rich in Maplestory. A lot of high level players in my guild. But this is what I mean. There's this guy that's just going back and forth. I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't know if he'll come back. Oh, there he is. That's what I mean with like obnoxious avatars that they bring in from Maplestory worlds. It takes up the whole screen. I have no idea what this guy's doing. What's he doing? He keeps going back and forth. Like, what is that? Is he like bugged out or something? So that's what he actually looks like. But then he has an avatar. Oh, he keeps dying. I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't level up too high. I could explain what he's doing if you guys are really curious, but he's intentionally killing himself so he doesn't level up. That's what that is. He's not bugged out. Let me try chatting in here. Pop, pop, pop. This guy's a bowmaster. Oh man, he has that fashion cash item that people wore back in the 2000s. Nike Jordans. So it just says blue Nike Air Jordans. Ripped jeans with some hip hop looking jacket here, a vest. I guarantee you he's over 30, probably like 35. Full 157 Bowmaster. Interesting. Man, it's hard to find people around this time. I want to do one more hour with this party before I log off. But we might have to call it. I might have to go solo grind or something. Yeah, it's past midnight in Korea. It's almost 2 a.m. and I'll show you how the channel is still pretty, I bet you it's still very populated. Okay, a lot of it has turned green. There's still some reds up there, full channels, then congested channels, and pretty free channels, a lot of green. 그러면 신비를 조금 낮춰가지고 한 20 정도 해야 되겠다. 5, 15. I'm gonna lower the price for the last person to pay in order to join the party. Hopefully that attracts more attention. Someone will join so we can get it going. Yeah, the game, you know, because I obviously live in the States, times that I usually get to play over there are early mornings or late nights. And the game is still very active. I mean, it's hard to find open channels sometimes for even for the populated training grounds. You'd be lucky to even find an open channel. Everybody's like grinding nonstop. Look at this guy. I have no idea what that is, but unfortunately our first floor bowmaster had to go. So I don't think we're gonna be able to run another hour. To get a bowmaster, I think it's kind of tough. 똥내면 Yeah, she said she had to go. I have a feeling she found another party. So Bubbly was a 175 bowmaster, and she was only there trying to farm Ilbies, other high level items. It essentially is a win-win if higher level players want to come to that training ground. And like I said, they want to clear out the Duelbergs on the first floor with other low level players on the upper floor, killing the monsters, essentially making it easier for her to farm for that Ilby. But when she first came in the party, when I asked her, would you like to come? She said, yeah, I don't think I can find a training ground for my level at this time. So she came, she said, I'll do 1 hour. And then I asked her when the hour was done, hey, would you like to do consecutive run, do another hour? She said, yeah, let's do it. And we've been looking for that last member in our party, which is another warrior. It could be any warrior, but most of the time we'll take a crusader. That's like the meta that people look for, is crusaders, because they offer rage, attack party buff. But I would have taken a knight. I would have taken a dragon, another dragon knight. It could have been whatever, but I'm looking for people on Discord right now and looking at what other people are posting. It's that area that people are trying to fill in. So it's very competitive right now. And I've been trying to get that last person for about 15 minutes now, and we can't find any. We even lowered the price that he has to pay to join the party to the priest, but didn't get any hits, unfortunately. And I think the bowmaster found the party for his level. So he said he had to go and he left. I'll do one more advertisement and we'll see if we can find some. Go farm at rashes again, mate. Party ain't happening. You have to pay to party. It's not a lot. It's usually you pay the priest. That's kind of like the culture here in Mapleland. Priests get about anywhere from 200,000 to 400,000 meso. But it's always fluctuating because the worth of meso is always going up and down, so you know, but it's really not that. Trust me, it's way worth it. Because what happens is if you don't pay a priest, you have to solo farm, or you have to solo grind, and you're earning maybe a third, if not fourth, of EXP that you would normally get compared to if you were grinding in a party with a priest giving you holy symbol. And as a warrior like myself, especially a dragon knight, if you don't have a priest giving you heal next to you, you're spending anywhere from, I don't know, this one time I solo grinded without a priest in the party. Not solo grinded, I party grinded in a party without the priest next to me, and I used 600 of these icicles, and 600 times 2,000 is what, almost like 1.3 to 1.4 million mesos per hour, compared to if I pay a priest 400,000 meso per hour. I'm getting more EXP, I'm using less potions, and if an item drops at a high level training ground, that gets all covered up anyway, so it's very efficient. But that's usually how things are. That's usually how the party grind culture is here. You pay the priest a small amount of money, and because he's collecting from 5 to 4 people, he still makes good amount of money in an hour. And you know, priests are notorious for making money. They don't use any potions, so people play priests because obviously they want to play a support class, But priests are really well populated because it's essentially a money-making machine. So that's kind of the culture here. Alright, let's go kill some rashes. Hut, 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 hut. These are the new mounts that they gave out for Christmas. These are limited time, or they have an expiration date. But for the time being, I think they're very cute. They're effective getting around. Where is it? It's until January 8th. Still a decent amount of time. I'm gonna grind and farm rashes for a bit until I have to go. Yeah, well, but you know, the thing about the reason why I'm okay with it having an expiration date is that they do events a lot. They do these little events all throughout all the time. You know, every 2 weeks I think Mapleland releases an event, and most of the time it has an expiration date with the items that they with the 2nd year anniversary with maple weapons and such, those were permanent items because it's an anniversary. But they'll probably do like another event here shortly, and when they do that, they'll release another item with an expiration date, and it keeps the game fresh. Honestly, like I like that these are what is the word I'm looking for? I like that they have an expiration date, so they're only there for a small amount of time, and you know, it doesn't make the game too like, I don't want to see people have items that other players don't have that when they first join the game. I don't know, it's like a personal thing for me. I don't like when I see a bunch of different mounts all over the place. I like that it's very simple. It feels very old school Maplestory like, but it just adds an element of fun by giving us these mounts that we can ride for a span of time. And they're cute, you know, cute little things. Like this Rudolph nose. I like the idea that it's limited time. Not limited time, but they have an expiration date. kind of just something. It adds it elevates the gaming experience, but it doesn't break the game. It doesn't make the game too like with a bunch of items that I would not want to be there. I like, you know what it is? Somebody said in the comments, and I think maybe that's what I am. He said I'm a maple purist, and I didn't know what that was, but I might be that. I like how the game was back in the day. But I know a lot of people like to collect. A lot of people are collectors, right? And they like to collect mounts. They like to collect chairs. And I'm the same way, but I don't want it to become too much of a... I don't want it to get too complex. Like, I don't want there to be like hundreds of chairs that you can collect. I feel like it'll get too overwhelming. I really didn't like spending $2,000 a month on Maplestory. A lot of cost was due to wanting permanent items. I agree. Like, it's so, you know, those were one of the things that I didn't like, is that if you're going to give out permanent, like, seasonal items, then make it free. I don't know why they had to sell it. Like, it just felt too blatant on going for my wallet. What Nixon did, they would release seasonal or items that you can only get in a certain span of time, and they would ask you to pay real money for it. Come on. That just seems really, it's too blatant. It feels very disrespectful. It feels too in your face, you know, like spend money now type of thing. Not a fan. I remember the time traveler medal, a bunch of others. I don't remember that one. So these dark rashes drop a earring scroll, and also they drop steelies, believe it or not. So I like to come here and kill these guys when I can't commit a full hour for the party, but I have a little bit of time to kill and come here and kill these guys. They're around level 70, so they don't give the greatest EXP, nor are they a huge threat to me. But I just come here and grind, and it's just a farming zone for me. Good regen here. Mobs regenerate in good numbers and big numbers, and their drop table is semi-decent for me to come here, and even if I don't get a good loot, I'm still making money. You know, just from picking up these items, and like even if I get maybe not a steely or a scroll, but one equipment, I sell that to an NPC, probably make all my money back on me using potions grinding here. But right now, Mr. Flank is here giving me heal and all that, so really have no worry losing money. I just have to go around, kill these guys as fast as I can. I like to call the Dragon Knight the janitor. Their motion is like I'm mopping, and I really do feel like I'm mopping sometimes the floor. And because these guys look like dust bunnies, I get that feeling ever so more. Steelies were my go-to back in the old Night Lord. They weren't too expensive. A lot of people use steelies. Steelies are pretty common, even here in Mapleland. A lot of people use steelies. A lot of people can't afford the ilbies. Like, steelies will go for about 4 mil, which is achievable for most people. But ilbies will go for like 60, 70, 80 mil. per stack, so huge gap in price between those two things. And that's why you saw a level 175 bowmaster in that training zone we were at, farming for those. Crystal LBs do not exist. I think LBs, they have hobbies, which is extremely rare. I think those go for like 260 mil to maybe 500 mil. I don't remember, but oh man, I've never seen anybody use hobbies here, but I heard rumors they do drop from Crimson Balrog at during the boat ride between Victoria Island to Orbis. And I've seen a content of some YouTuber actually trying to farm that from Crimson Balrog, and he did it like hundreds of times and he still didn't get it. Can you guys imagine, like, Crimson Balrog, his spawn is not a guarantee when you take the boat from Victoria Island to Orbis, and it takes like 15 minutes each time just to even get a chance of Crimson Balrog to spawn. But there's rumors that he drops them, and there's actually in the auction board, in the auction website for Mapleland, someone is selling a hobby. It's crazy. I mean, I haven't seen anyone personally use it. Just to kind of give you an idea how expensive that is. Let's say hobbies are 500 million meso. Let's see, 1 mil meso is about $1, right? 1 mil meso right now is trading for about $1. So can someone do quick math and tell me like what was it? What did I say? 500 mil? So is that $500? Right? That's essentially like $500. No, a little bit more, right? No, $500. Yep, $500. That one star is $500. It's very expensive. I imagine because Night Lords go through you can't have just one stack of hobbies, right? Night Lords, even with Spirit Stars is a skill and 4th job advancement where for a period of time you don't consume any stars. Even with that on, you're gonna still go through at least 8 stacks of throwing stars in a boss raid. And give or take like 2 on each side, depending on if you're going Zac or Horntail. So, you know, 1 stack of hobby is really just to show people, hey, I got money, if someone has it. But imagine if someone wanted to make hobby their main source of stars, and they had to buy 8 stacks of that. So 500 times 8 is $4,000 if they wanted to actually use hobbies as their main damage. This is why I say Night Lords, like, yes, they're a great class and they're fun to play, but we just have to be prepared. And by the way, it's totally unnecessary. People throw steelies all the time and you're completely fine. You're still viable. I guess I'm just trying to point out that their ceiling is extremely high. If you wanted to maximize damage on a Night Lord, ceiling is extreme. Ilbies were $500 1.5 years ago. Yeah, prices have come down a lot. Yeah, steelies are just fine. Most Night Lords use steelies, and then the really, really high level Night Lords will use Ilbies. It's one of those things, you know, like hobby is $500 per star. Will I spend $500 to like will I spend thousands of dollars to take my family to go on a vacation or a trip? Yeah, once a year. I mean, that seems reasonable, right? But will I ever spend that type of money in a video game? I won't. I won't. Maybe some people will, but not me. I'm not gonna spend. Part of the gaming experience that makes video games fun is the fact that you have to, you know, like if you can spend money, like I never understood people that like pay to win. You just paid your way through a video game for what? You've missed out on all the element of the grind, of the adventure, the journey. You know, you just instantly paid for the progression, and that dopamine feels so cheap. It feels so cheap and, you know, not fulfilling. So for me, part of the reason why I don't like to spend money is because one, I'm cheap, but two, I want to earn that. I want to earn that progression. I want to do it myself instead of paying the dollars in my bank account to instantly get it. You know, I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that, right? That's a pretty common sentiment. A lot of people feel the same way. You were a sucker for vanity? Like what? Like, oh yeah, you said you liked those items that were limited time only, right? I can't wait to show you guys once I hit Dark Knight. Can't wait to show you guys the combo, the Rush, Berserk, and the Rush, Berserk, and the other one. There's one more that Dragon Knight. Oh, Stance. Obviously the Beholder, little guy floating around, following me. When you play a free game, you feel like you have to spend a lot of money. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm quite the opposite. I get turned off when the game is asking me to pay money for progression. I like and maybe it's because I'm so accustomed to Maplestory. I'm not a big fan of gotta spend money to progress or to play the game. Some games nowadays, like I heard Diablo Immortal for the mobile, and also the Maplestory Idol that released on mobile, requires you to spend a lot of money in order to progress. And I feel like the design is just, I'm just not a big fan. It's because, like I said, I'm so used to games like Maplestory where you never had to spend real money to progress or to enjoy the game. But once I feel that the game is blatantly telling me in order for you to enjoy the game, you have to spend money, like Maplestory Idle is exactly that. You can't progress. There's no way to progress unless you spend a huge chunk of money. Or you can really just kind of not play the game for a long period of time and let the game do its thing. The time is the other factor that that you can trade. You can trade money for time. In those games, it's okay as long as like the time you have to spend to get the type of progression you need to advance is achievable. But some games, they have a pseudo way of letting you know, well, if you spend money, you can progress faster. But if you don't want to spend money, you can just sit there and grind a little bit longer in order to get the same type of achievement. But it's really a facade, because the time that it's asking you to spend to get the same level of achievement as someone who's spending hundreds of dollars in a video game is just ridiculous. Like sometimes there's games that will give you the option of grinding, like trading time for real money, but you have to grind for like months in order to get to that level, in order to progress to the next stage. And it's just like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna do that. It's very, very manipulative in a way to get me to spend money. I don't want to spend money in a video game. I already spend money in other things. I want to go buy me a coffee. I want to go buy me food. But to each their own. And I say this all from what I like and what I don't like. I know many players like yourself who spend money in a video game because, you know, some people spend money on alcohol to get the feeling of enjoyment in life, or find like, I don't know, like people spend money on stupid things all the time to enjoy certain aspects of their life, you know. And I'm a huge believer that life can be miserable, really. Like a lot of people are suffering in the world, and if that's what brings you peace, enjoyment, then do so. I have a best friend who's really into Pokemon cards lately, and deep inside I don't agree with what he's doing. I really don't. He's spending hundreds if not thousands of dollars, maybe even more, which is a crazy part, a month buying these Pokemon cards, and he has a family. And I just think, man, I don't agree with that at all. But at the end of the day, he seems so happy doing it. So, you know, I just have to check myself and say, well, who am I to kind of decide how he spends his own money and what he does with his own life? Some people will do drugs to keep themselves going. Some people will spend money on Pokemon cards. Some people will spend hundreds of dollars in a video game to get themselves going, get up the next day and push through. So I just keep quiet, and I try not to tell my friend that he shouldn't be doing that. I don't want to be a parent, you know. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He'll manage his money where he doesn't go under, and he makes good money, so. I really didn't like the spending money, but I keep getting dopamine. So it was like a gambling addiction, really. Yeah. Yeah. Why do people go to the casinos? Probably the same reason, you know. How you spend your money is your money at the end of the day. Doesn't mean I agree, but you can still disagree with people and find common grounds in different things and still get along. I'm a huge believer in that. And I think in today's world, especially in today's world, people take disagreements or if you are not completely aligned with other people's belief systems or value system, they take it personally. But You know, I think that's wrong, because nobody's gonna, eventually the people that agree with you most of the time will come to a point where you disagree on something. So we have to be okay disagreeing on certain things. I feel like the world is just too sensitive nowadays. You know, with maybe it's just the stuff I see online, and it's not the it's not a good example of how real world is. But especially online, there's a lot of people that are just too sensitive. Like, I'll give you an example. I think it's super funny when people make hey, I think it's funny when people make racist jokes towards Asian, and I'm Asian. Like when Dave Chappelle does a skit and he's mocking Asians, I laugh the hardest. I think it's so funny, because you know why? Because I can empathize, or I can relate to that. It's really funny. I think Dave Chappelle is a genius. He's so funny. And you know, those are all things that people can relate to. So the Pokemon trading card game is an expensive hobby. I collected TCG from May to August. Yeah, see, it's extremely expensive. I saw my friend doing it and I was curious, so I went to like this TCG pricer check or something like that, and I couldn't see. People say it's an investment, so I looked in. I was like, wait, am I the one missing out? Because I like to invest money. You know, I like to invest money the conventional way of throwing money into the stocks. But I was like, wait, hold on. Somebody showed a chart of Pokemon cards outbeating all the S&P 500s and NASDAQ and, you know, the triple Qs in the stock market. I was like, hold on, am I just being silly? And is this something that people do and I'm just unaware? And I went to go check. A lot of cards lose value over time. I was like, wait, what's going on here? Yeah, League of Legends is also starting trading cards. And I played League of Legends for, oh my goodness, for a long time. I haven't played recently because of Mapleland. But League of Legends is another game that's a huge part of my life. And I think a lot of Koreans could probably attest to that League of Legends is huge in Korea. It's just like Maplestory. And when they said they're coming out with the trading card, my friend showed me that he got the card and he pulled a Rock Lee. Or he pulled a Lee Sin. And Lee Sin was one of my favorite champions that I used to play in that game. And even now I'll play. I'm really good at Lee Sin. At least I think so. But you know, I had a huge attachment towards Lee Sin, and even in Naruto, my favorite character is Rock Lee, so you can kind of tell like where like what I like, and you know, you can clearly tell what I like, which is these martial artist monks who's doing cool flips and kicks and stuff. Anyway, he showed me a trading card of Lee Sin, and it was all holographic. It looked really cool, and because I liked the character so much, I was like, oh, I want that. You know, it called me, it pulled me in, and I almost went and bought one. But then I thought about, you know, like, it's, well, I guess I went to actually go buy one, but our Target didn't have it, and Walmart didn't have it either. But at that point, I just kind of gave up. And then after a while, I was like, well, you know, maybe it's best that I don't get into that hobby, because I can see it becoming extremely expensive. And once I drop some money, I'll be that much more attached and addicted. And it's probably just best that I don't even look at it or even open a first pack of cards. There are a lot of scalpers, yeah, scalpers in the Pokemon TCG. Like, they buy a booster box locally, then resell for double the price. That thing is they actually. I've heard. Yep, I've heard there's a lot of market manipulation too. Like, I don't know, I really don't know anything about Pokemon TCG to even speak on it. But based off of what I've seen online and the little research that I've done, I heard that, well, one, I know it's a huge market. I know a lot of people are into it just by the views that I see on YouTube. There's a lot of Pokemon fans here in the United States, and that doesn't require research to find out. You can just tell. There's a lot of people that love Pokemon here. Now the TCG training card economy, I know it's huge, but that's about all I know. And I know about scalpers because my friend always talks about them, how he upset with them, sends me videos just ranting about them. My music stopped. Up. Speaking of Pokemon cards, I remember, you know, when I was kids, I used to collect Pokemon cards, and you know, this is a pretty well-known like joke, I guess, or a saying. When we were kids, we were putting 15,000 or how much are the Charizards PSA 10? Aren't they like hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars? Anyways, those OG cards that we pulled when we were kids, and we wanted to make our bikes sound like motorcycles, so we would tape them to our bikes and ride around with the card flapping against the wheel so it sounds like you had an exhaust. Oh my god, those are so funny. If those cards, if we kept them in a nice plastic seal, the true winners are the kids that were organized enough, and you know, they kept all their cards in the binder, nicely sealed, all pretty. Those were the kids that really won in life. Those cards go for hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think, if not more. I remember what I did. I saw a kid do that to his Pokemon card, and I was like, that sounds so cool. Let me tape Pokemon cards on the back of my seat so it can flap against the rim of the wheel. It sounds like an exhaust is going off every time I drive around, every time I ride around in my neighborhood. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards are expensive or if there's a market. I'm sure there is. Every trading card game has a market. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Too. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! I played more Yu-Gi-Oh! Than Pokemon. I kind of collected Pokemon cards as a kid, but I didn't like play it. I remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot with my friends though. You didn't actually play the game, you just collected. Okay, I think I'm going to end the stream here. It's a little bit early, but I have to get going and spend time with family. We're gonna open gifts, watch a little Christmas movie, and all that stuff. It's actually Christmas today, so let me go back to town. Unfortunately, we didn't get any good loot. Turn that down a little bit. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any loot from the rashes, but you know, it was still nice cleaning up Leaf Ray of the dust bunnies. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. What's important is you keep going, right? Oh. Okay, let's go ahead and sell these off. Right. I'm gonna give him the Sorcerer's Stone because he needs that. I don't. And when I see an assassin, I will give him a summoner or summoning rock, which can help them use shadow partners. Alright guys, I think I'm going to end the stream here today. Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. I will be streaming tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Sunday? I don't stream Sundays, but tomorrow is actually Friday. Wow, I lose track of time. That's how hectic life has been. But I will go live again tomorrow, 9 a.m. EST. Thank you guys for keeping me company while I play today. It was fun chatting with all of you. So go ahead and like and subscribe and come hang out with me tomorrow. 저는 방송 여기까지 하고 내일 저녁 11시에 들어오도록 하겠습니다. 같이 함께 해주신 분들 모두 감사합니다. 바이바이.